we are back with more Windbreaker. This is interesting because it's leading up to something, right? This is leading up to something. I'm not sure what exactly is leading up to, but it's leading up to something. So, you know the drill. We're going to go over some things, give our thoughts, go over some scenes, and then give our overall review of the episode at the end. Now, I don't think I've ever given an episode less than an 8 this season, and this one's not going to be any different. So, right off the bat, just going to preference that. But some interesting things that I want to point out in this episode is Nirei. Now, I said before that I think this character is needed for Sakura's development and his growth mentally, right? Because he seems to be a character that people feed off of to help boost their morale, to help boost their confidence, to help, fuel what they're doing. He seems to be that kind of character. He's not someone that you would take to a fight to help you physically. Okay, that's not him. But morally and mentally, this is that character. So right when this scene here, when you see the bandages on him and Sakura asked him, did he fall, did he hurt himself or something? And he said he tripped and fell. Right then and there, I was like, okay, Suo chimed in. Suo chimed in. And right then and there, I knew, okay, that Suo was training him. I knew it. I knew it right then and there. And we get that kind of flashback to that training in this episode. But right then and there, I knew Suo was training him, which is interesting because this is not the route I thought they would take with the character. I always assumed that this character would never be on par with Sakura and Suo and everyone else in that group, which I don't think he will in terms of fighting prowess, but being able to at least protect himself and him actually going through with it, I thought that was interesting. That completely threw me off guard because I was not expecting that from this character. And we see the fruits of the roly-poly move that he learned from Suo. The first move that he learned, we see the fruits of his labor in this episode when, Sakura and crew, fight this group of gangbangers. But I knew right then and there that Suo was training him from the dialogue at this scene here. So let's go to another scene. 436. So we got the maiden falling from the sky here, falling on Sakura, right? Typical stuff that we've seen before in many other anime, right? We've seen a girl jump, look out below, watch out, falling on the main protagonist, right? We've seen this before. This was no different, but yeah, that's what happened here, and that's what led up to the brawl. Another thing I want to point out is Nirei's jacket here. I don't know if I can get to a scene. Let me go back to the other scene here. Let me go back to this scene or something here. His jacket here and the strap that he's wearing in there, the book bag or something. That's referenced in the opening. It's him wearing that exact jacket. Now, I don't think necessarily the openings have any revelation to what's going to happen in the series, but he has that same jacket on in the opening where he's in the train, looks like he's crying or something like that. But I thought that was interesting, and I thought that was going to at least lead up to something, and it could still be the case, but I just wanted to point that out. He has that same jacket on in the opening where he's in the train by himself. So let's go to 839 to where we see the roly-poly effect here, right? We see the roly-poly effect, right? This is the roly-poly effect. This is the fruits of his training here, right? The fruits of his training here. This is the fruits of his training. This is his first actual ability that he learned, and he pulled it off, right? Tripping this dude up. And it's interesting because, again, I never expected this character to be trained to fight to some capacity. Now, again, I don't think he's going to be like Sakura in them, but having some fighting prowess is good for the character in terms of development for the character, because the character Nirei, that's where he even thinks is where he's lacking the most in terms of he wants to be by Sakura's side. He wants to help him reach the top. We heard that conviction in this episode from him during the flashback with Suo training him. That conviction, and we all knew that something in the back of Nirei's mind, and it was this, where he feels as though he needs some kind of training to keep up with Sakura and to help him, because simply not being able to fight, he thinks he's just going to hold him back and not be able to actually continue to be by his side, right? So I do like this. And that's a huge change for this character, because the last time we saw him in the fight, crying, doing all that stuff, but this time he kind of mustered up his courage and put his foot forward, right? So I like it. I do like it. I know I shit on this character. I shit on this character, but I like where they're going with him, right? I do like where they're going with him. Let's go to another scene here. Not too many scenes this week to go over, but this is interesting because this is Sakura doing a finishing move on one of the gangbangers that they were fighting. Like, this is that's a kill move. Okay? That's a kill move. Is what that is. That is not something that a normal person would be able to survive. That is a kill move. All right? But since this is anime, obviously that dude's not dead. But that's a kill move, right? If you watch the episode and you listen to the effects of it, that's not a normal move people will be able to survive. But it is anime, so it is what it is. But I thought that was worth pointing out. And then we get to this last scene here where we meet Roppo Ichiza, which is this group of, I want to say these are grown men. And Nirei said that Fuden actually had a run-in with them recently. I want to say these are grown men, but these could very well be high school kids. They could very well be high school kids, but I want to say these are grown men. At least they look like they are. And I'm not sure why a group of grown men would be fighting with a bunch of high school kids. And that's what leads me to believe that they're also high school kids, maybe. Or some of them might be, but maybe Fuden is not just high school kids. But this is the group and he's the leader. So it's building up to something here. It's building up to something. And also, I do want to point out that Tsubaki has been referenced a lot in these last few episodes. And he's going to have a big part to play here, I think, in the climax of this season. I truly believe that, because he's getting a lot of screen time, and he's also, I think, is going to have a huge part to play here in the climax of this season, because they went to this red light district to, in fact, meet Tsubaki. So that's where all this came out. So episode, I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. I really enjoyed it. Nirei, it's growing on me. If he keeps this up, I like it. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. What do you feel about this episode? How do you feel about the season so far? And how do you feel about Nirei's development here? Right? This was interesting to me. This was very interesting. But that's all I have for this one. Thanks for watching. Keep on keeping on.